I'm joined by Judith Hayes from Bilton Silver Band, who were one of the bands that really grabbed the opportunity of the Save Our Brass Bands campaign by the horns and raised an astonishing amount of money. So let's start off. Tell us how much you raised last year.
Well, astonishing was the right word. It really was. We closed our campaign on a little over £10,000. £10,000 in just a few weeks. Our stretch target was 10,000, and we hit that a couple of days before the project closed. And
was there a plan for why you were raising that for the band?
So we have our own band room, and it's a really nice place. It's not, it's new. It's not even 10 years old yet, but we're in a residential area, and we're not allowed to open doors and windows while we're playing. So having looked at the risk assessments, the COVID risk assessments, we identified that ventilation was a showstopper. It was as simple as that. We weren't going to get the band back in the band room with no ventilation. It's just absolutely key to keeping us all safe. So we'd already started to look at how we could, deal with that. And there was, I think, three things kind of came together all at the same time. So there was the risk assessment. Then, having identified the need for the ventilation, I saw something on Facebook where a chap in one of the local bands has a company that doing ventilation systems, was offering them, I think, at cost, certainly at a reduced price to brass bands. So, fantastic. So we'd identified a solution, but it was going to cost a whole load of money. And then the Brass Band England campaign came along exactly at the right time. So we'd got a need, we'd got a solution, we needed money for it, and that's why we decided to take part.
Why, when you were thinking about how you were going to raise this money, did you choose to join the crowdfunding as a fundraiser? What made you go for that?
It just seemed like an opportunity that was too good to miss. I don't think any of us had done anything like that before. But it was obvious there was going to be a lot of support, and the fact that it wasn't just we were going to be out on our own. It was part of a big campaign, and because it's organised by people that know brass bands, we felt that it was just the right opportunity, and we'd get the right sort of support, and that's how it turned out. It was Brass Band England, Save Our Brass Bands. And we're a brass band, so it was, in the end, I guess, a no-brainer.
What advice would you give to bands wanting to take part to make the most of this year's campaign?
Have a clear need and communicate it persuasively. I think that's without that, you're not going to get anywhere, really. Now, a clear need, in our case, it was a thing, a piece of equipment. If it was more general than that, if it was running costs, well, can you identify what the running costs are? So being fairly specific. Another key thing, which sometimes we're not very good at, is actually ask for what you want. Sometimes you say, we've got this problem, we want to do this. What you need to say then is, please, can you make a donation? Please, can you share? Please, can you spread the word? Do you have any ideas? So ask for what you want and make it easy then for them to donate. So our webpage went through a couple of iterations before we launched it, but basic marketing, really, you want people to be able to see everything in that first view. You don't want any scrolling. You want them to be able to see what's the issue, what do you want, how can we help, and then a link to click. So that would be the sort of advice. Keep it clear and make it easy for people to help. Use the Crowdfunder advice that's available. There's a wealth of information and help. We didn't do everything on the list, not by a long chalk. But if you pick out what's going to be most important for you and do that, that's going to help. Any queries, ask. So use the information, use the help that you can get. Go to the webinars, ask your questions face to face, like we are doing now. Aim high. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's if we'd have gone in and said we'd like to raise £2,000, I'm sure we'd have done it. We might have raised £5,000. And I know there's a lot of money, and I know that not every band has the big band family that we have. I understand that. But if you aim high for yourselves, think about what you think you might be able to raise and add some, because if you don't ask, you don't get. So aim high, make it easy for people to donate, keep communicating. That would be the main things.
I think people like that aspiration, don't they? It really helps drive people to give that little bit more. Great. Well, thank you very much for joining me, Judith. I think you've really told us why we should all go and get involved with this year's one.